Hi book lovers, and welcome to another reading vlog. So this reading vlog is going to be the books that I'm reading for a readathon that I'm participating in. So it's a 2-week readathon that is starting from the 1st of November to the 14th of November. However, it's only 3 prompts, so it's literally just 3 books to read. So I'm hoping that this vlog, which I'm going to be doing a week-long vlog, I'm kind of hoping that I'll be able to read all 3 of those books in this 1 week in this vlog, but if not, then I might do it as like a 2-part vlog, but we'll see. The books that I've got aren't overly massive, and I honestly think I'm going to breeze through them, so I don't think I'm going to have a problem with this, but you never know. So the readathon that I am participating in is Game of Tomes, which is run by Dasha from Mystic Pages. I'll pop her little thing up there. I will put my TBR video down in the description as I talk about the readathon a bit more in detail in that. But basically it's a Game of Thrones inspired readathon. There's 3 prompts and you can choose which path you want to take. So you've got 4 or 5 paths to take. I think it's 4, I can't remember now. And like you have your teams, and so I'm going to take the path to Winterfell because I want to be on the Stark team, because the Starks are my favourite characters from Game of Thrones. So this is like a little mini readathon. It's like a little origin story readathon. I think there's going to be like a massive one next year, which I certainly would like to participate in. So like I said, am on the Stark path, so I'm heading to Winterfell. So the first prompt is a group prompt, so everyone is reading this, doing this prompt, not reading the book. And so the prompt is Crossroads Inn, and it's read an anticipated book. So everyone's got this same prompt, so everyone will be reading an anticipated book of their choice. So my anticipated book, okay, it's not a new release or anything like this, but this book has been something I wanted to read for so long, but the reason I haven't bought the book was because it was so expensive for this particular paperback, and I was just like, I can't like spend like £9 on a paperback. I was just like, no. But I've had a lot going on these past few weeks, and I was like, do you know what, I'm treating myself to it, I don't care. So I'm going to go be reading Rhapsodic, I can never say it right, Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. And this is the Bargainer series book 1. I honestly think I'm probably going to love this and then want to pick up the next 2 books, so I'm so sorry, poor balance, because your girl's going to get poor again. But yeah, so this is book 1 in the Bargainer series, and I'm not going to go into what the book is about now. I will probably go into it a bit more when I read it, but I know it's a fantasy romance, I know it's dark, and I know I'm gonna love it because I do love my fantasy romance books. I just love that it's particularly that. I'm just really excited for this, and I'm so glad I can finally read it. So this is what I'm going to be reading for the Crossroads Inn prompt, which is anticipated book. And then to go into my journey to Winterfell, the second prompt, which is these next 2 prompts, are the specific prompts for the Stark team. And so the second prompt is the twins, and it's read a book with 2 words in the title. And for that, because I've got quite a dark academia themed vibe going on with my TBR, I wanted to add this book in because I wanted to add this book into the TBR anyway, and this just worked well. So I'm going to be reading Ninth House by LiQWYD. Now, I did actually start reading this the end of last year, and I think if I remember rightly, I think I got to chapter 7, and it was page 114, I think. But when I read it then, it just wasn't for me, and I don't think it was the book per se. I think I just wasn't in the right mood for it, and I think because back then I hadn't read a lot of dark academia books, so I didn't really understand the premises of dark academia, but now I have, and it's a genre I don't read a lot of, but I do love. So I'm going to be reading this. It is a dark academia book, but it's based in Yale, but it's also got supernatural fantasy stuff going on here. It's very dark, and it's certainly quite spooky. From when I remember reading it, it had quite a bit of spooky elements in, and I'm really in the mood for that. So I'm going to be reading Ninth House for 2 words in the title, the twins, because, you know, 2 words in the title. And then the last prompt is I've reached Winterfell, And so the prompt is read a book with wintry vibes. Now I have a lot of books that have wintry vibes, but a couple of the books that could fit for that I actually want to read in December because it's like gives me proper like Christmassy snowy vibes. So I decided to go for this book that I recently bought. I wanted to read it in October because it is a ghost story book, but it actually is all set in winter, so I thought actually this really fits well for the prompt, and it also gives me the spooky vibes that I'm still in the mood for. So I'm going to be reading The Haunting Season, which is ghostly tales for long winter nights. It's by 8 authors and there's 8 short stories, and basically this I'll actually read what it's about. It's winter, with its unsettling blend of cosy and the sinister, has long been a popular time for gathering by the bright flame of a candle or the warm crackling of a fire and swapping stories of ghosts and strange happenings. 8 best-selling award-winning authors, master storytellers of the sinister and the macabre, bring this time-honoured tradition to vivid life in a spellbinding collection of new and original haunted tales. Taking you from a bustling Covent Garden Christmas market to the frosty moors of Yorkshire, from a country estate with a dreadful secret to a London mansion where a beautiful girl lies frozen in death, these are stories to make your hair stand on end, send shivers down your spine, and to serve as your indispensable companion to the long nights of winter. So this is all set with wintry vibes. Also on there, it's got about Carla, light a candle and fall under the spell of the haunting season. So it's all set in winter. It's certainly got all the winter atmospheric vibes going on, but it also has like a cozy feeling to it, as well as it being ghost stories. It's also short. Well, it's short-ish. It is 291 pages, so just under 300 pages. Excuse me. But like it's 8 short stories, so it's not going to take me long. I'm really excited for this. So that's Winterfell prompt, which is wintry vibes. Oh, sorry. So these are the books I am going to read. So I am going to start with Rhapsodic, as that's the first prompt. So this readathon does run the 1st to 14th, so if I don't read all of these in this week, I do have next week to do, but honestly I don't think it's going to take me long. So I'm going to start with this. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go make myself a coffee, and then I'm just going to get all cozy and read this. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the vlog, and if you are participating in Game of Tomes readathon, do let me know in the comments. But yeah, I shall check in when I've read a little bit of this and I can give you a little mini what this book is about and my feelings so far. Coming on with not anything to update you with, but I've got parcels. So one of them I'm going to leave last because I'm really excited for it. But this is from World of Books, which is a online book service that has like used books, also does have new books. Sometimes it's cheaper than what it is in shops, sometimes it's the same. I was having a little nosy on there to see what like horror books they had, because like I have mentioned in my videos of October, especially like my October wrap up, I really am into my horror. I quite like the spookier the better. So I had a little look and I found a couple of books from World of Books that sounded really good. So I think I ordered 4 altogether, or possibly 5. So I've got 2. I have got another, no, I think I got 4. Yeah, because I got these 2. I got one that's on its way and another one that's pending, but it did say on there it was going to take longer. So I've already opened it up, but I haven't actually seen what's in there. Oh, okay. So I got these 2. So I've got In the Nightwood by Dale Bailey, and this is a ghost story, I think. I'll read it out. Charles Hayden has been fascinated by a strange Victorian fairy tale in the Nightwood since he was a child. When his wife Erin, a descendant of the author, inherits her ancestor's house, the couple decide to make it their home. Still mourning the recent death of their daughter, they leave America behind, seeking a new beginning in the English countryside.
but a hollow house filled with secrets and surrounded by an ancient oak forest is a place where the past seems very much alive. Isolated among the trees, Charles and Erin begin to feel themselves haunted by echoes of the stories in the house's library, by sightings of their daughter, and by something else as old and dark as the forest around them. So yeah, it's a little short but sweet book. It's like, how many pages? 214 pages. Considering this is actually really, like, it's got a bit of wear on it, but it is decent. Like, I paid £3 or £4 for this. But yeah, I love it. And to be honest, a little bit of where that is on the book actually sort of feels like it's part of the book. So I've got that one. And then next I've got The Cottingley Cuckoo by A.J. Elwood. Now this pretty much is in brand spanking new. And this was £5. And this is... I've got a feeling like this is sort of like a dark fairy tale retelling, a bit similar to In the Nightwood. So I'll just read this one out as well. Captivated by books and stories, Rose dreams of a life away from the confines of Sunnyside care home she works in, until elderly resident Charlotte Favell offers an unexpected glimpse of enchantment. She keeps an aged stack of letters about the Cottingley fairies, the photographs made famous by Arthur Conan Doyle, but later dismissed as a hoax. The letters insist there is proof that the fairies existed. Rose is eager to learn more, but Charlotte allows her to read only a piece at a time, drawing Rose into her web. As the letter's content grows more menacing, Rose discovers she is unexpectedly pregnant and feels another door to the future has slammed. Her obsession with what really happened in Cottingley all those years ago spirals. As inexplicable events occur inside her home, she begins to entertain dark thoughts about a baby and its origins. So yeah, again, this sounds like a spooky book. It says here, a sharp mix of mystery, fantasy, and psychological horror. It says a challenging baby, a threat unseen, and no one to trust. So I'm really pleased with this because it said it was used, but it is in brand spanking new condition in my eyes. So yeah, got that. And then I've got an Amazon parcel. I opened it because I wasn't actually sure what it was, but it's a pre-order. And it is In Every Mirror She's Black by Lola Akinmade Akastrom. I'm sorry, I might have said that wrong. This is... I can't actually remember what this is about, so I'm going to read it out to you. Kemi is ready to change her life. She's sick of being second guessed in the boardroom, tired of smiling politely while men gaze at her body, bored of dating surveys that tell her black African women are the least desired in America. Moving across the world for a new job, certainly things will be different. Brittany Ray is tired of serving others. She's determined not to struggle like her parents did. As a flight attendant, she's seen the way the super wealthy float, untouchable and easy, and she envies it. As a model in her 20s, she had a taste of that privilege. Now pushing 40, she knows that to have one kind of freedom, she must sacrifice another. Muna began her treacherous journey 2 years ago. Then she was a family of 3. Now her mother and younger brother are buried somewhere at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. She's been granted asylum, but she can't shake the feeling that she will never belong. When your only family is a stack of passport photos, it's hard to grow new roots. In search of escape, these 3 women find themselves in Stockholm, a city that prides itself on being egalitarian and open. Instead of a fresh new start, they find the same problems, just wear a different name. Yeah. Do you know what? I think I saw someone talk about this or recommend it or something. I just like the sound of it. So I got it, and I really do like to have more diverse books in my life. I'm not going to lie. I don't read as much as I should. I do own quite a lot and I still haven't read them. But at the same time, I have to be in the right mood for them because I know some of the books that I have read are very hard hitting and it's important to read, but I have to be in the right frame of mind sometimes as well. But yeah, this sounds really good and very interesting. So that's that. And then in here, I have 2 books and then a very special something that's to do with books. So first up, I've got The Crow Trap by Enquiries, and this is Vera series. I got this because I do a volunteer job with my local North Somerset Library and Readers Agency, and basically it's a Readers Friends thing, and long story cut short, but you get paired up to someone who's got the same interests in you, and you basically just speak to them as often or as little as you want, and it's sort of combating loneliness through books. So I've got a lovely lady called Morag. She's in her 70s. She's fantastic. Honestly, me and her got paired brilliantly because we are so very much alike. We're very, very chatty. Like, you know, I chat, she can talk her head off when she wants to as well. So it's like our conversations we've had are certainly not quiet. There's no like silence or anything like that. So we've sort of been just getting to know each other, talking about things. She's been in hospital because she had to have a hip operation. So we've sort of been just talking about everyday stuff. But the last couple of weeks we have been talking about books and what we've been reading and stuff. And not last week, because we didn't speak last week just because it was half term and she also had plans with her family. But the week before that, I did say to her, would she like to suggest a couple of books, and we pick one and read it together and just talk between us our thoughts of it. And she was really up for it, so I was like, oh, brilliant. So yesterday I spoke to her and I asked if she had thought of any, and she didn't, bless her, because she'd been so busy that she forgot. So I quickly went to her and said, like, what book are you really interested in reading, and let's do that. And she was like, well, are you sure? What about, like, we do, like, you pick a book? And I said, oh, no, I'd rather it be you, because, like, I'm doing it for, like, her, per se. So she said she really likes Enquiries. She's one of her favourite authors, and she read one series, like, through and through, and she wanted to start the Vera series. Now, she watches Vera on telly, and I sometimes have it on in the background, and I'm not overly keen on there. Just by the way it is, but she said the TV series is naff. And she did start reading the Vera series a long time ago, but she can't remember. So she wanted to read this. This is the book one in the Vera series, and it's The Crow Trap. And I'm really excited because this is an author I've never read before. And from the way Morag explained it to me, it's very, you do not know who done it until right at the end, but you have so many suspects. You think, oh, it might be them, it might be them, it might be them, and it continually, you keep on guessing. And I like that in books. I like it until it's like right at the last minute, and I'm like, oh. She said it's also got quite a bit of dark humour in it, and she said, like, Vera in this book as a character is just like really blunt, to the point and everything, as in Vera character in a TV adaptation I cannot stand. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to read what it's about because I actually don't know what it's about. So, introducing Detective Inspector Vera Stanhope. Everyone has something to hide. 3 very different women come together at an isolated cottage in the North Pennines to complete an environmental survey. 3 women who each know the meaning of betrayal. Rachel, the team leader, is still reading after a double betrayal by a lover and boss. Anne, a botanist, sees the survey as a chance to indulge in a little deception of her own. And then there is Grace, a strange and communicative young woman hiding plenty of her own secrets. Rachel is the first to arrive at the cottage, but when she gets there, she is shocked to discover an apparent suicide. But then another death occurs, and a 4th woman enters the picture, the unconventional Detective Inspector Vera Stanhope, who must piece together the truth from these women's tangled lives. So it says a cleverly plotted psychological thriller, and I do like my psychological thrillers. So yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I just love the spine. Like, that is gorgeous, spine-wise, and honestly, if I actually like this book, I might continue the series, and if they have like really cool spines like this, they're going to look fab on my bookshelves. So yeah, I got that. So we're just going to like read it together, but I don't know when. Like, I said to her, you know, I'll get the book from Amazon, which I'll get like the following day, and I said, but you know, don't, you know, take your time, don't rush getting it. So when we're well, that's my voice then. When we're ready to, we're going to read this together and just discuss things. The next book I got, this is this little tiny thing. I honestly thought it was bigger than this, but clearly not. But I got Nothing But Blackened Teeth. My hair has gone really staticky. All my hair keeps doing at the moment is that. It's driving me insane. Anyway, I got Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Hoare, I think. Hoare? And I honestly thought this was longer than what it is. It's 120 pages, I think. Am I right? Yeah, 120 pages. Now, I'm not going to lie, I paid like about £8 for this. And I kind of like, I should have like read more details about it because like it's a lot of money for a little tiny book. But this just sounds absolutely amazing. So it says, Kat joins her old friends who are in search of the perfect wedding venue to spend a night in Heian-era Manor in Japan. Trapped in webs of love, responsibility, and yesterdays, they walk into a haunted house with their hearts full of ghosts. This mansion is long abandoned, but it is hungry for new guests and welcomes them all, welcomes the demons inside them because it is built on foundations of sacrifice and bone. Their night of food, drinks, and games quickly spirals into a nightmare as the house draws them into embrace. For lurking in the shadows is the ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart, and she gets lonely down there in the dirt. This is like Japanese ghost stories. It's Japanese folklore, and you've probably seen, I absolutely love Rin Shippeko's 2 books, Girl from the Well and The Suffering, and I really like the Japanese folklore and the Japanese culture and a Japanese ghost story in that. And this is not the same like plot as those 2 books, But again, it is a ghost, it's in Japan, and like I can imagine there is going to be a lot of Japanese culture in here, which just fascinates me. So this is a little tiny book, but I honestly got a feeling it's going to pack a punch. And look, she looks creepy. Next up, I have this beauty. So it is a Moonlight. I actually saw this from Morgan's channel. She has a little Moonlight, and she actually has it. So instead of like having all the lights on, she's got it there and she can read, and it is really, really powerful. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. So I had a look around, and I actually saw on Instagram as like a advert, a light. So it's a shape of a half moon, like a crescent moon, and then dangling is the moon with fairy lights in, and that looked really sweet. However, I was like, it's like, you know, I have to have it standing up. Whereas this, yeah, like I obviously can't show you properly what it looks like purely because it's daylight, but I will do a video when it's dark and I can show you. But it's like this. So it doesn't overly look like a moon, but when you turn it on, it really looks like a moon. It's 3 different settings. You've got white, you've got like a gold, which makes it look more like a sun, and then you've got like a lighter yellow. So it's USB charge, so brilliant. So you just charge it there, and it's touch light as well. But you can hold it like that. Like, it is big. Like, well, it's probably not big for many people, but I've got tiny hands, so it's big. But like, you can have that, and you have your book there, and you can read, or you can like put it on the you know, on your bed or whatever. It's just a perfect little light, but you can be in the dark, and it packs a punch. And obviously, it's underneath, so I can't be able to get it out, but it comes with this. So it comes on a stand, or literally it is happily, it's on its own, like it's got a little flat surface there to go on there. But I got it, and I absolutely love it, and I actually got a discount off it as well, which was bargain. But yeah, I'm really excited, and honestly, I hope it works the way like the reviews and the pictures and all that suggest. Like, there's been non-stop good reviews on here, so yeah. So that is my little haul. So yeah, that's that. I haven't overly done much reading yet, so you know, next time you see me, I will definitely give you a proper update on my book. But I just wanted to show you them because the Moonlight I've been so excited to get. Coming on to give you a little bit of a book update. So I'm currently on chapter 5, page 49 of Rhapsodic, and I am loving this book so much. I've had to edit some videos, and also in between that I've had to take lots of pictures because I have not done any pictures on my Bookstagram for ages, so I didn't get a lot of reading in. But I am going to settle down in a minute, put my pyjamas on, and like binge read as much as I can before I fall asleep, because I'm feeling a bit rough. My daughter's got a cold, and I've been sneezing non-stop the last couple of days, but today I'm feeling a bit of a sore throat and all that. So yeah, I think it's slowly getting there. I've been testing all of our, apart from Alice, but the rest of us have been testing just to, you know, make sure it's not, and we're all negative. So it just is cold. Anyway, so the book, literally the first like paragraph of this book, the first sentence, you cannot say to me it's not captivating. It's not spoilery, so I'm going to read it out to you. There's blood on my hands, blood between my toes, blood speckled in my hair. It splashed across my chest, and to my horror, I can taste a few droplets on my lips. Like, you cannot turn around and say to me that does not draw your attention and make you want to read the book. Because I read that first page and I was like, yeah, I'm loving this book already. And I love it that much, even though I'm only 49 pages in. I have already ordered book 2 and book 3, which is coming tomorrow. So once I finish this and the other 2 books, that is for Game of Thrones readathon, I'm certainly going to pick up book 2 and book 3 and binge it, because so just to give you a little update on what is going on so far, we follow our main protagonist called Calypso Lillis, or otherwise known as Callie, and 8 years ago something happened and she had pretty much 2 options: go to the police it was go to the police and pretty much probably get done for this particular thing that happened, or she makes a deal with the bargainer. So she decides to make the deal with the bargainer, and so that's what she does. And he at first refuses to do a deal with her because he says he doesn't do bargains with kids, but she sort of pleads with him, and I think he's curious in her because he realizes that she has a supernatural power, and at this particular moment she doesn't know that what she is. So basically he ends up doing a bargain with her, and usually is you do a bargain and you repay the bargain by whatever it is the bargainer wants to do. But he doesn't do that. He says to her, take this as a freebie, but they won't be free if you ever need me next time. And he tells her to go to this particular academy, which is to do with supernatural people. And he tells her that she's a siren, and quite a powerful siren. But he also tells her a curse of being a siren is that his magic probably won't last on her. And in that case, it's true, because she has had to call him in quite a lot of span over the 8 years, because every time the magic sort of wears off, she has to call him again to cover up what happened when she was 15. So she has 322 bargains that she needs to repay back to the bargainer. So the bargainer and Callie have like a sort of, there's sort of something there. It's insinuating that Callie certainly had a massive big crush on a bargainer, but they have obviously got a bit of a friendship as well, because we sort of go back in time frames. So we do 8 years ago, and then we're at present day, and at present day the bargainer has finally returned after 7 years of her not seeing him, and the last time they saw each other, it didn't end well for Callie. Apparently he really broke her heart and stuff like that. But they have a sort of relationship, like he knows her name, she knows his name, which is Desmond, or she calls him Des. He's got nicknames for her as well, like he calls her Cherub. And yes, there's something there. It's certainly clear that Callie had a big crush on him, and in the story has sort of insinuated that maybe something happened and he crushed her heart. But he came back, and he pretty much is now taking his payment from her. So his first payment for her, she had to do truth or dare, and she didn't particularly answer him because she was like shocked that he was in her bed, and she literally stripped off all the lights off, not expecting him to be there, and then boom. So awkward moment, but it was a really funny moment. But yeah, so he ends up doing truth or dare. She didn't even get a choice. He went dare, and he kissed her, and obviously she's like, what the hell? And then he's turned around and said, I'll be back tomorrow. And he said, a free advice to you, it was like, it will be more than just a kiss. So it's sort of like implying that there's going to be some sort of relationship there. Like, it is clear that there is going to be a romance because it is a fantasy romance, but the banter between these two is brilliant, and oh my god, they're both absolutely gorgeous characters. So for a siren, part of their powers is they have like absolute gorgeous beauty. They're like knockouts and all that. That's part of their powers. Like that's their sort of like, hang on, let me because there's a glossary which tells you all of the things. So yeah, a siren is a supernatural creature of extraordinary beauty, exclusively female, can glamour all earthly beings to do her bidding, prone to bad decision making. So she uses her powers for certain things. So she actually is a supernatural PI, and she uses her supernatural powers to get the bad guys, like mundanes and supernatural beings. And so, but she also, her siren power is very much sex and like danger, so she really craves that sort of thing, whereas Callie, her person, is more addictive of trying to catch the bad guys and punishing them because of obviously what went on with her when she was 15. So these two characters, they're beautiful, and honestly, I've not seen any fan art or anything to do with this book. I've actually stayed away from anything to spoil that for me, but I'm certainly curious once I finish this to see what the fan art is, because how it's described and the imagination I've got of these characters, they are just like drop dead gorgeous. But honestly, this is really good. The banter's brilliant. It's very like fast paced, quick to the point, and you know, I'm 5 chapters in, and it's very hard for me to put this book down. Like, I've had to, because I've had to do the school run, I've had to do rainbows, I've had to do other like things that I needed to do. but I've literally, this book is pulling me in. Like, I really just want to read it, but at the same time I don't want to devour it in one go, which I probably will, just because I want to savor it. But then I'm sort of like, actually my book is going to come on Thursday, so you know, if I finish it, I haven't got long to wait to pick up book 2 and 3. But yeah, loving this. I'm so glad I'm finally reading it, and this is already a brilliant start to my November reads. And if it continues to be like this with me enjoying my books, then I think I certainly will be getting like my love of reading back instead of it being a chore. So yeah, I am going to go and put my pajamas on. I've got some snacks to eat, and I'm going to sit and read this until I can't read it any longer and have to go to sleep. I do need to edit my video, which I do need to do, so I might treat myself to a couple of chapters and then do that and then go back to reading. But yeah, that's the plan. And yeah, this is just a brilliant start to this vlog already, and I'm very excited for that. Completely forgot that I need to show you my moonlight, so I'm going to have to turn the lights completely off, so it's going to be dark, but then I will show you how amazing it is. It's brilliant. Look at it. So it goes like that. You have to tap it hard. And then it's that, which definitely looks like a moon. And then it's a bit of a warmer white. And then you do that, you turn it off. But it's beautiful. And like, it's like, you know, I can sit here and I can read. And it's the perfect light for while I'm reading, instead of having big massive lights on. So I love it. This is a brilliant purchase. This book's making me cry, and I don't know why. Oh my god, I'm actually crying. What the hell? It's it's like, it's really sweet in a, there's like, I can't do it without spoiling it. I don't want to spoil it. Oh my god, I'm fully crying here, guys. What's wrong with me? It's really sweet. There's something about it. These two, like, they're not even in a relationship or anything. They're like sort of, I suppose, rekindling their friendship again. But it's so feel good and warm, and it makes me emotional. But yeah, I'm on page 147. I'm loving this book. I think I'm probably going to stay awake until I finish it, because I just can't put it down. But yeah, I'm crying for no reason apart from it being really sweet and cute. So there's that. Hi, ignore the state of me. I'm feeling rough. My daughter's got a cold. She's passed it on to me, and I'm pretty much having a bad day. I feel awful, but I'm sorry if you're not getting a lot of content. But yeah, but I finished Rhapsodic, so I stayed up till, I don't know what time. I fell asleep mid-reading, basically, but I had 47 pages left. I didn't get up till like midday, so I've only just got to finishing the last 47 pages. But oh my god, absolutely love this book. 5 stars, definitely. I can't wait for book 2 and 3 to come, because I need to know what happened. But so you last saw me probably crying, and basically I'm crying not because it's nasty. I'm crying because it's just the relationship between Kelly and Des, the bargainer, is just like, it's just so lovely. And like, it is like they both accept each other for who they are. They do not want to change one another. They sort of balance each other out, and it's the kind of relationship I want for me. And it's the problem I have when I read romance. Sometimes it really is a kick in the teeth when you're single and you want that relationship. Like, the relationship between these two is something I want myself, and I hate the fact that like I still haven't that person. Like, there's one person I thought in my life was that, but obviously fate has different ideas. So when I read romances, it's always sometimes a bit of a heartache for me, because I'm like, I want that, why don't I have that? But like, this is a slow burn romance, but it is so worth it. And like, when it finally gets to, you know, these two finally talk about their feelings and realise that it's like 7 years of loving each other, and like, things happen, and then just as you think, oh, finally, Laura just decides to be like, not quite yet, guys. I'm just going to throw in some sort of drama. And then we have the Thief of Souls who appears, and it turns out that the Thief of Soul is one of the Fae Kings. So, plot twist there. And then on top of that, Callie ends up having a metamorphosis because as a siren, they obviously look like sort of, I suppose in some sense to me it feels like they're quite mermaidy with wings and that. I don't really know. I'm going to have to actually read up and see what kind of creatures sirens are. But she has a metamorphosis, and so she starts to like think, oh my god, I do not like Callie anymore. But she does. She just has extraness, and it's just a way that like Des loves her even more. And like it ends sort of, it doesn't end in a cliffhanger. Like in hindsight, you could just read this book and not want to read the rest of the books, but obviously I'm going to read the rest of the books because I need to know what's going to go on. I want to know whether these two have like a proper happy ever after. And I just love them, like the banter they have, the stubbornness. I love Callie because in some sense I see me in Callie. Like she's very much a loner. She's very much hardened heart. You know, she's had a lot of pain and a lot of things happen to her. She doesn't let a lot of people in, which is very much like me. But she does have this inner strength, which is something I have when I need to have it. You know, with my Crohn's diagnosis, when I've been in hospital and I've had operations which were never planned, I had that inner strength to get through it and had that fight to get me better. And I just felt I saw myself in Callie, which just made me really love this book even more. There is obviously darkness in here. We've got obviously sexual assault, we've got rape, we've got abuse and everything, but it's done in a way that it's done in a way where they're not victims. Like they are survivors, and I like it when books do that. You know, yes, they are victims in a sense. You know, this happened to them, it should never happen to them. But I don't like it when they are portrayed to be weak and all that. Because I'm thinking, no, majority of the time they are not. Majority of the time they are like, F you. So I like how Callie isn't portrayed as a victim. Like there's one bit when she gets captured where she loses that bit, like she is sort of broken. But I love that actually she's like, no. And yeah, I just love this book. And I'm going to be totally honest, I love From Blood and Ash series, and that's definitely top of my thing. But this is now second. This is definitely second. Akatar has really gone down on my list of favourite books. There's just something about this. It really called to me, and it really, I felt myself in Callie. And I think that's why I love this book even more so. But yeah, absolutely love this. This is a smashing start to November. This is why I need to mood read and read books I want, because when I do that, my love of reading gets rekindled. And considering I feel rough, I feel full of cold, my ear hurts, my throat hurts, my asthma's bad, I'm like still quite happy because this book was amazing. So I've done that. My next book now is Lighthouse by Leigh Bardugo. And yeah, I'm hoping this feel of bookness is going to continue. So this is the next plan, and I will update you when I've read some amount of this book. I obviously have read this book before, not all of it, but I read about 100 pages, so it certainly at the start will feel familiar, but hopefully as I get in I will enjoy it a bit more than I did last time. Oh, I just turned my light on. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna read this, so I'll catch up with you when I have some reading updates and my initial thoughts so far.
So I did do some reading last night. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know how much stayed in my head though. I read, but I was sort of not overly with it, like I was sort of fighting sleep at the same time. However, like I said, when I started this, I have started this book the end of last year, so I think I read about, I think I was about 100 pages, maybe 90 pages, I can't really remember. So the bits I have been reading sort of sound familiar, although to be fair, when I was reading it I was like, I can't remember this, so it shows how much maybe stayed in my head. But basically we follow Alex, who gets accepted at Yale. So she gets basically sent a very like anonymous thing to say, you're invited to go to Yale and blah blah blah. So she's gone there. She's obviously got a bit of a past, so something happened in her old university, and her and one other girl was left to live, but the rest of the people in this dorm room completely got killed. It's like an unsolved crime as well, so people thought there was drugs involved, but nothing really gone on there. So Alex ends up being the sole survivor because the girl never woke up or something, from what I remember. But basically she's at Yale, but it comes with a catch. So she has been tasked by, is it Darlington? Oh, is it Darlington's his name?
why is it when I'm trying to find names, I cannot find said names? Yeah, Darlington. So she's tasked by this bloke called Darlington for her to monitor Yale's secret societies, which are notorious haunts of the rich and powerful. So I think she's undercover. I'm not 100% sure, but like the starting part of this book, she goes to this like hidden room, and there's a bunch of Yale students there, and this bloke is basically operating on a guy and selling his organs to like the highest bidder. So I'm not sure whether she's undercover and she's like reporting all this stuff or what. I must admit, when I read this the end of last year, I couldn't remember that. So whether I'm right or not, I don't know. Like I said, I did read this last night, but I wasn't fully with it, so I don't know what really absorbed in my head. But on top of that, she can see the dead. She can see ghosts and things like that, and Darlington is the only person who knows, so he's been teaching her to sort of learn her power, and some of the ghosts make her feel quite poorly because obviously they're a bit not nice. So I think he's been teaching her that and showing her that, there's, there is another world out there, things do go bump in the night, and all that. So he's been like showing her all things. But he then has to go away to Spain for something, like it's apparently a study, but I'm not sure whether there's more to it. So he's like put her in charge, and on top of that, a dead girl has been found in the university campus, and Alex has obviously been tasked to see whether it is to do with the societies of the hidden societies that go on in the different universities, or whether it's just a normal crime. But it's turning out that the societies are not as nice as they make out to be. So apparently the societies tamper with forbidden magic and they raise the dead, and sometimes these deads prey on the living. So yeah, what I've got up to at the minute is she's just seen the dead body. The dead body is a girl and she's called Tara. Apparently she is a townie, so she's not from the university. However, the societies do prey on townies, so she's sort of like, okay, like that. However, she's got certain things, like, so she can see the dead, but she's obviously been given certain things. She's been given coins that have magic on it where it can compel you. So she gave one to the person in the ambulance who was, in the gurney thing, sending her off, and she wanted to see the body. She saw the body, and the girl has literally been stabbed so many times in the heart, and it's like gory and all that, and it's certainly it's not like a random killing, it's personal. So yeah, she's obviously investigating that. But on top of that, I think we're sort of going back and forwards in time per se, because we have got bits where she's talking to Darlington and he's telling her all of these sort of things about the other life in the world, like, ghosts, there's magic, things like that. So that's where I am at the minute. It's certainly dark. It's certainly definitely a dark academia book because it is full frontal, based in the university. The descriptions of the university is amazing. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm there. And I really like the part that she can see dead people. Like, it's got that spookiness already because there are some nice dead ghosts and there's some that aren't nice at all. So that's where I am. I am on chapter 5, page 72, so I'm not overly far in. But yeah, I am enjoying it. I kind of can see why I struggled with it last time. I think it's just, at the moment, it's a little bit slow. Like, not much is happening, and I think that was what my problem was at the start when I started reading this. I just felt it was a little bit slow, and at times it was just a little bit chaotic, and I was a bit confused. But saying that, I am in the right mood for this. Like, I really am vibing with the dark parts. I really like it being in a university. Like I said, the description of the university feels like I'm there, and it's really good at setting the scene. And I am very much into my spooky stories. I really like books about ghosts. So the fact that we have got someone who can see ghosts makes me think, okay, I'm in the right mood for this. So I'm going to continue reading this. I'm going to go make some lunch and then read a bit more before I do the school run.
But yeah, at the minute I'm enjoying it, but I understand why I had problems with it last time, is it is feeling slow. But I think for me, I just need to continue with it and get further in, and I do think things will hit off. When I read Shadow of Bone by letsescapewithbooks, I felt like that as well with the start of it. It was just a little bit slow paced. It was certainly, you know, setting the scene, giving you background to the characters and all that, which I like, but sometimes I just prefer it to be a bit more actiony. So I kind of feel, because I've read Shadow of Bone, I sort of know that's what her writing style is. She sets all the scene first, and then you hit in a certain section, which is usually about halfway, and things start to really pick up, and it's more fast paced. So yeah, I'm definitely going to persevere with this and go from there. If I can get halfway through today, then I can determine whether, you know, things are picking up and all that. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently reading. And yeah, I would like to at least get halfway through today, so then tomorrow I can finish the other half, and then over the weekend I can concentrate the haunting season. I do think I'll be able to read these 3 books in this week-long vlog, because it's not taking me long and I'm in a reading mood and feeling rough anyway. It's nice just to chill in bed and read. So yeah, I'm going to continue reading this. I'm going to go make some lunch, and I will update you probably when I'm halfway. So yeah, I'll catch up with you all later.
Hi, just quickly jumping on, as I've read a little bit more, not much, but a little bit more, and things are picking up a little bit. So I don't know whether I've said in a previous clip, this does go backwards and forwards. So we have like Alex in present day, which is her looking into this murder of a girl called Tara. People were saying it's Tara's boyfriend doing it. It's just like drug taking gone wrong kind of thing. But Alex is sort of feeling a bit deja vu, and it's reminding her of her past, which is something happened back in her old university dorm with some friends. I don't know why, it hasn't really gone in. It just obviously it's clear people died, and she's feeling a bit deja vu. So she's sort of looking into Tara's death a bit more, because she has a feeling it's more to it than what people are suggesting. So we have that as in present day, but then we go back in sort of the past in Darlington's point of view, and it's him sort of teaching the ropes to Alex. And we're also getting a background of Alex, and particularly her with the, I'm going to say curse because it doesn't sound overly nice to have, but the curse of her seeing ghosts. So I've just read a bit where she went on like her first sort of job with Darlington, and they basically were sort of bouncers for one of the societies that was doing a magic to. So this particular society uses word magic. So you know, prenups, things like that, make it Allen tight. So this magic, no one can ever break them. So if you want this property to always be yours, they've been using this word magic, so no one can buy this property, that kind of thing. But it does involve blood, and blood is what draws the ghosts, otherwise known as greys, in. So their Darlington and Alex's job was to just make sure that, because they need the greys to be there but not to be problematic. So it was sort of, they were there to make sure that they were around but they didn't get in to mess up the ritual, because if the ritual goes wrong, then it will go and find blood elsewhere, which would be they would kill someone like innocent and stuff like that. So they do that, but it kind of went a bit wrong. So loads of greys were like Darlington, I think, thought this was just a normal like ritual, but they actually changed the ritual up, and there was more blood than normal, so more greys were drawn to it. And one of the greys went and attacked Alex, which made her fall and brush the salt path that they made to stop the greys going in. And Darlington was like, they can't hurt you, they very rarely hurt you. And then we flash back into when Alex first really met a nasty grey, and basically this ghost, I don't know whether fully raped her or started to rape her. Either way, sexually assaulted her in the girls' bathroom toilets, and obviously she's the only one who can see the greys and all that. So we obviously have that flashback. So it's picking up. I must admit, the scene, the bathroom scene, it was probably one of the most gruesome scenes I've read. Just how dark it was, like, you know, it's horrible as it is, but like a ghost, like, ugh. So she's like, Darlington is like now suddenly sort of wondering why are the greys so attracted to her to hurt her, because most of these greys, they only hurt you for like a particular, like, you know, either they're really nasty or for a particular reason. Like usually if you sort of acknowledge them and all that, they will kind of latch into you and they'll mess around with you, kind of thing. But like Darlington's always like, well, they don't hurt you, but obviously she's proven that actually they hurt her. So that's got interesting. It certainly got really picked up with that scene and all that. I'm currently actually in between a chapter. I hate stopping in between chapters, but my dinner was ready, so I had to, and I'm just about to start picking it up. But I'm on page 100 and... where am I? 126. So I think I'm on chapter 7. Yeah, chapter 7. So winter. I can't remember what the hang on. So I think fall, when it says fall, I think that's when it's like last fall is with Darlington, and I think winter is like present day, but obviously at the same time in winter we do get a little bit of flashbacks with Alex. So I've like probably read a third, but yeah, it's gotten really interesting. It's still a little bit slow, but I am a lot more intrigued, and I'm definitely past where I was because none of this sounds familiar to me anymore. So I think now I might be a bit more engrossed because it doesn't feel like, it's not a bit of a deja vu. Like there's some bits thinking, oh, I think I remember that, but I'm not fully sure. I'm now at a stage where I haven't read any more, so I think it might feel a little bit more better just because I've not read it. It doesn't feel familiar, and so probably I might sort of enjoy it a little bit more now because I haven't read that part. But yeah, it is starting to intrigue me. I'm certainly getting the dark vibes now. Like, yeah, I definitely would say this book has triggers, so do check up on the triggers. Like, I kind of wish I did know this bath scene because I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I've certainly got a bit intrigued now, so we'll see how it goes. I would like to at least try and get the halfway mark tonight before I go to bed, and then I can finish it off tomorrow as Alice is at her dad's, so I have the whole weekend to myself. So I would like to get to halfway park and then finish it tomorrow, and then over the weekend I can finish the haunting, like start the haunting season and finish it because it's a short story, so it won't take me long. But yeah, intrigued. It's certainly picking up. It's still just a little bit slow for me at the minute, but you know, I am that much in, so yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to go and put my pyjamas on, get all snuggled up, and read and eat my snacks, which involve Space Raiders and popcorn. Healthy ending, but hey. So yeah, if I don't catch up with you later on tonight, I certainly will in the morning and let you know where I got up to and my initial thoughts with that. But yeah, if I don't see you later, I will see you tomorrow. Hi, the quickest of updates happening because I need to pop out and do some errands, but I have officially reached halfway of Ninth House, which is what I wanted to do last night. So I'm officially on track of how I wanted to read this, so I definitely will finish this today. Or at least read most of it and have like a tiny bit to read tomorrow, but I honestly think I'm going to finish this today anyway. But basically, stuff is happening. It's certainly picked up. I wouldn't say this is a 5-star book purely because it is a slow burn, and I had read up little mini reviews just to see, and a lot of people said it is a slow burn, and for me, I only prefer slow burn stuff when it's romance. So for that, this won't be 5 stars just because there is moments where I'm like, why do we need to know this? But where I'm at the minute is Alex got attacked by a particular ghost. I can't remember what it's called. It's like guama or something. It's a very nasty ghost, and it's got this special sort of stuff where it blows red smoke on you, and then basically it's like these beetles inside you, and they pretty much eat from the inside out. And so like he starts hurting Alex, but no one can see, and all that, and everyone's like thinking she's gone nuts. He blows smoke on her, and she manages to get into the university, into this particular part, which is the safe haven, because none of the ghosts can attack her because it's warded. She goes there, and luckily enough, Dawes, one of the acolytes, is there, and she manages to give her a remedy to help her. Anyway, all that's going on at the same time. Just before she got attacked, she went to the morgue, and she managed to persuade herself into actually physically see Tara. She did like a magic trick, like she used a specific magic where it's forbidden to do necromancy. They're not allowed to bring the dead back sort of alive, or like bring their ghost out if they've like crossed over and stuff. So she did the specific magic where all of Tara's wounds have a story. So if she touches a particular wound, it will tell you how it happened. So she ends up doing that for her, and it's sort of showing what happened. So they're framing the boyfriend and saying the boyfriend did it. He was certainly there, but there was someone else there, and the voice sounded familiar, but she can't click who it is. But she also was like completely curious, because this is the nastiest death Tara's, like nastiest wound Tara's had, and obviously she died out of it. But actually, she's completely calm over it. Like she doesn't actually feel the pain. So it's clear that there's some magic gone on there. Sorry, my out's taking. So that's going on, and then she then gets attacked by this ghost. And another particular ghost called the bridegroom actually fights the ghost off and manages to protect her. So she's then decided to do another little magic trick. So Alex ends up sort of dying, but she has a special thing to wake her, bring her back. So she dies, so she can cross over, and they're sort of at the crossroads between like heaven and hell. And she meets the bridegroom, who supposedly killed his fiancée and then killed himself. And they've now struck a deal. So basically, he's going to see if there's Tara's in the other world and find out from her what happened, if he can. And then for the bridegroom, Alex will try and find out about his fiancée and what really happened, because he's adamant that he didn't kill her. Like, it was him, but it wasn't him. So they sort of struck a deal. But it's also become clear, which I didn't realise, I obviously must not have absorbed it when I read it the other night, but Darlington is actually missing. I thought he had gone away to learn something, but no, he's actually gone missing. And at the start, when that came, I thought, ooh, he's missing, and since he's gone missing, all of Tara got killed. So I sort of wondered whether he was the person that maybe he's doing the killings, but that is way too obvious. And knowing what LiQWYD writes in the Shadow and Bone series, I'm kind of thinking, no, that is a little bit too obvious. You never know, it could be, but I don't think it is. But I think Sando's got something to do with it. He's really dodgy. He doesn't like Alex sniffing around, even though her job is to make sure the societies aren't involved with this killing, which clearly looks like it is. And he's like, no, it's fine. And he pretty much blamed her for the ghost attack, saying it's her fault because she's a beacon for ghosts to hurt her. And yeah, I have my suspicions. I think he's got something to do with something, because he clearly doesn't want her to find out what actually really happens to Tara. And I'm like, But yeah, but we're also going back in time, obviously, with Alex and Darlington, Darlington's accounts. Now, I thought Darlington was actually old, but now I read his accounts, I think he's older than her, but not an actual old grown man. I think he's maybe in his late 20s or something. So it sounds like there may have been a little bit of a love interest, possibly, or maybe he liked her more than possibly a friendship or something. I don't know. There was this one scene, I won't give out the spoilers, but he sort of gets glamoured, and so he sort of sees Alex in a different light, and he gets a bit excited. But obviously, ever since then, he's sort of sees Alex in a different light and all of that. So I don't know whether there was maybe they liked each other a bit more than being friends or something, or work colleagues, I don't know. But it is clear that he isn't as old as I assumed he was. But yeah, it really has picked up. Like, we're now getting to the point where there's definitely the societies involved. We're getting ghost attacks, more magic's being used, and it's like, I think Alex is getting a bit closer to finding out what happened to Tara. So yeah, I'm halfway. So where am I? I'm on chapter 13. Yeah, chapter 13, page 221. So I need to pop out and do some errands. I need to buy some things and post some stuff at post office. So I probably will pick this up later, or if not later, I'll do it once Alice has gone to her dad's, and then just spend the rest of the evening reading. But yeah, that's the plan. I will catch up with you all probably when I finish this, or where I am before I go to bed or something. But yeah, I'll catch up with you all later. I finished Ninth House, finally. I still don't know where my head's at with this. Like, I am between a 3 and a 4, and part of me's feeling like I should go in the middle and give it like 3.5 stars. But there were parts that I did really like. Like, I love Leigh Bardugo's writing. I can't fault her writing, and this book itself, the writing was brilliant. Like, I felt like I was there. Like, everything, good and bad. Like, I had goosebumps, shivering, hair on stand. Yeah. I felt like I was in university, like I could see university. So in that sense, her writing is so captivating and so mesmerising that you feel like you're there, and I can't fault that. And I actually like the characters. I like Alex. I like some of the other characters, like side characters in here. It's just, for me, it's the pace. Like, I've read a few mini reviews and a lot of people said it is a slow burn book. And I suppose for me, that's the sort of thing I don't particularly like. I like books that are fast paced but still has enough world building, stuff like that. It's just, there was a few bits that were slow for me. There was a few bits I felt, did we really need to know that? I really do like Alex's backstory and what happened. That makes sense, because I remember when I first read this back last year, or whenever it was, last year. Last November or December, actually. I'm sure it was around this time when I tried last year. But I remember wondering what had her, like what happened to her friends. So I'm glad that got answered. The same with Darlington. It was nice to know him. Like, the last, probably that much of the book was brilliant. It was epic. I sort of had an inkling, like I've said before, that I thought Sando was something to do with the killings, and I was right per se, but not. It was literally that. Like, it was particularly Tara. It wasn't anyone else. I did then start thinking whether this particular professor that got mentioned near the start of this book, whether there was something to do with her, because she was mentioned and then forgotten, and I was like, ooh, and I wasn't 100% sure, and when that was revealed, I was like, okay. And then when I actually found out the actual truth behind her, and that, I was like, oh, okay. And then finding out what Alex really is and all that, and then obviously the realisation of what's happened to Darlington, because we now know that he is missing, but he's somewhere. And so there's a cliffhanger. Basically, the second book is probably them going to go and get Darlington from a certain place. If you read the book, you know what I mean. I have actually looked up, and I know there is a second book. When it's out, I do not know. So yeah, there was some really good bits. Like, the writing style was good. I really liked the characters and side characters. The plot itself was really good, because we've got supernatural elements, we've got paranormal people, we've got ghosts. It was very creepy at times.
And like that fantasy side of things was brilliant as well. It was just really slow, you know. Like, to me, like half of this book could have been cut. There's world building, and then there's just like it's I don't know, like I kind of can see why she did it. It's like setting the scene sort of thing, and I can understand her reason. It's just other books I've read, you have that, and then like I can't pinpoint it, and it's really annoying me because I tend to, like, once I finish reading a book, I draft up my review and then I post my review like later on when I'm in the mood to do so, and I have no idea how to review it, as you can probably tell, because I'm a bit like, I don't know. It was good. It was too slow for me, and I don't know. I don't know what about the slowness bothered me. I feel like other fantasies I've had, even like, you know, I always find if there's like books in a series, the first book is more setting the scenes, doing the world building, and then like at the end stuff happens, and then it opens up for the rest of the series to be a bit more fast paced, a bit more actioned. But this, like, you know, I thought was a standalone, and I think for a while I think everyone probably thought this was a standalone too. There was something about this that didn't do it for me, and I can't pinpoint it why else. It was a good read. I did enjoy myself at times. It wasn't fantastic. So yeah, I think the more I'm really thinking about it, I think I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I don't think it's quite 4 stars. It certainly isn't 5 stars, but it certainly isn't anything lower than a 3. So yeah, I think I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. Yeah. So 2 books down, and now, hello, close up. It's time to read my third and last book, which is The Haunting Season, Ghostly Tales for Long Winter Nights. This is 8 short stories. Honestly, it's not long. I don't think it's going to take me long anyway. I tend to breeze through short stories very quickly. So this is the plan. I'm going to get snuggly, read some of this, and probably read a little bit while I'm like getting ready for bed. And then I might finish it all off tomorrow, because I don't think I'm going to stay up late reading this. But we'll see. So yeah. We're now on to this one, and I'm very excited because it is beautiful. Good afternoon. I have officially finished The Haunting Season. I spent all morning reading like the last 100 pages of this. I'm going to be kind and I'm going to give this 3 stars. But if I'm going to be totally honest, this was just a complete flop of a book, unfortunately. I had really high expectations for this, purely because it's called The Haunting Season. It says it's Ghostly Tales for Long Winter Nights. I thought, this is going to be really good. And yeah, like there was a couple of like short stories I did like they did captivate me and I did enjoy, but none of it was spooky, none of it was really ghostly like it said. Like, to me, this is just more of an atmospheric kind of book. It certainly did give you winter vibes. Like, I cannot fault this for the winter vibes. It did that. It certainly matched the prompt Winterfell, because it really was set in winter. It really did not give me any spooky, creepy feelings. Like, it did bore me, and like even the books that I did enjoy, I enjoyed not just sort of by the plot. It was different. It was more interesting, but it didn't give me the full-on creepy, spooky, oh my god, this is scary vibes. This was just like, this would be really good for people who doesn't like horror, doesn't like anything like go bump in the night, but who like the atmosphere. Like, this would be good for that. But yeah, like, I'm really disappointed because I bought this really thinking I was gonna love it. It's short stories. I thought it's gonna be perfect. It matched the prompt right in regards to the winter, because it's certainly, every book was set in winter setting. It certainly gave me cozy vibes, like with fireplaces and candles and things like that. Well, that was it. The ones that I did enjoy, I liked Thwaite's Tenant by Imogen Hermes Gawar.
That was good. I also like The Eel Singers by Natasha Pulley. That was sort of had some Japanese culture in there, and it wasn't more a ghost story. It felt more like a sort of like a magical lure sort of thing. I liked that. The Chillingham Chair by Laura Purcell, I enjoyed that purely because it gave me more of a thriller rather than like a ghosty sort of, like it was more a ghost sort of telling the person what happened to them, how they died, and also telling them where the other son, the other brother was. And it obviously was clear that the brother that was still alive was the one who killed everyone. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed The Hanging of the Greens by Andrew Michael Hurley. That was very interesting. It was sort of it looked like a ghost had visited her and was sort of showing her how he died. But the sort of death of this person, it sort of made you wonder, were they trying to do an exorcism and it just went completely wrong sort of thing? Like they believed it was he had something possessing him, but he wasn't. And then the last one I enjoyed was Confinement by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. Sorry, I really enjoyed that purely because it was based on the real case, which is Mrs. Amelia Dyer, who was a 19th century baby murder. So she did baby farming and all that. And it was also included about mental health, specifically postpartum psychosis, which is based on the author herself's postpartum psychosis. And she just sort of included here. And I like the ending of it. It ended, and then underneath it says, "This record is held in the archives of the Shropshire and Wenlock Borough Lunatic Asylum." So it sort of makes you wonder whether like she was hallucinating or whether it was actually a ghost of a witch. Yeah, it gave me that sort of wondering where that story led. So I really like that. I think Confinement was my most favourite out of all of them. So yeah, with that, I'm giving this a 3-star because there were 5 short stories I did like, but it really didn't give me the creepy vibes. It wasn't spooky. Like the title of this book wasn't true in my opinion. But I can't fault all of the author's writing. Like their writing is amazing, and it certainly was atmospheric in the sense of you got the winter vibes. You know, you got the fireplace and how warm you felt from reading that bit of paragraph. The same with candles. Like there was scenes of Christmas which felt nice. It just felt flat for me. Like there was one bit of saying that London mansion where a beautiful girl lies frozen in death. Oh right, yeah, no, I know what. Yeah, like it says here, it's saying these are the stories to make your hair stand on end, send shivers down your spine, and to serve as your indispensable companion to the long nights of winter. To curl up, light a candle, and fall under the spell of a haunting season. I just didn't get that. I didn't get any goosebumps. I didn't get like chills. I didn't get my hair standing up on end. Like it just wasn't spooky. So yeah, 3 stars. A bit of a flop for me. It's certainly going to be an unhauled book. So if anyone is interested in this book, let me know. You can have it. And then on to the other 2 books that I read. So I read Night House by Leigh Bardugo. I given this 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it, especially like the last like half of the book it picked up. But for me, it was just too slow, and I just felt like some of it could have just completely been taken out. So that was probably the reason why it hasn't got a big high mark. But the favourite of the 3 books and of this blog is Rhapsodic by Laura Talassa. However you pronounce the surname, I never know. This is 5 stars. Like, if I could do it higher than 5 stars, I would. I absolutely love this. This was amazing. And I have now got book 2 and book 3. So I'd definitely be reading those 2 books for November. I don't care about the rest of my books. Those 2 definitely be read. So yeah, I managed to complete Game of Thrones all before the actual readathon finishes. So I managed to read all of the 3 books, but Rhapsodic definitely was the fan favourite. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'm sorry, this probably is going to be quite a long vlog, but I had a lot of thoughts to share and a lot of book mail I wanted to share too. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts. If you're participating in Game of Thrones, again, let me know if you are and what path you're on and how you're getting on with your reads. And yeah, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.